OK, we'll come back to that speeding limit in just a moment, but let's go back even before that. Around this time yesterday, we were all getting very excited about the Prime Minister's idea that everyone should study maths until they were 18, which he did address, his first big speech of the year in East London yesterday. You can hear someone muttering in the background. You probably recognise what that voice is. You'll be hearing from Kind yourself, Carol. Carol Vorderman in just a moment. Here's a little of what the Prime Minister said before you hear from our Carol.
I am now making numeracy a central objective of our education system. Now, that doesn't have to mean a compulsory A-level in maths for everyone, but we will work with the sector to move towards all children studying some form of maths to 18. Just imagine what greater numeracy will unlock for people. The skills to feel confidence with your finances, to find the best mortgage deal or savings rate. The ability to do your job better and get paid more, and greater self-confidence to navigate a changing world.
Now, only a handful of days into the new year, and my guest, Carol Vorderman, of course, co-star creator of Countdown, broadcaster and author. You were, or before we even get to yesterday, you'd already been very critical of the Prime Minister, hadn't you, and spoken about a degree of negligence.
I think there is. I think it is. My question is, at what point does political negligence become criminal? Because what is happening in this wonderful country of ours is morally corrupt, in my opinion. And we all know about the particularly PPE VIP lanes. We know about his wife's, dodging
non-dom
tax status.
So she's not done anything illegal. It's the morality one can question.
But the reason that it's not illegal, governments are there to put laws in. And if they put new laws in, and a lot of what's coming up in their bills this year, to put laws in so that what you and I might call morally criminal is not illegal. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
So they're creating the laws to allow these loopholes to happen. That's my piece on that. I think you know where I'm coming from.
What did you make of yesterday? What he said about maths? The Guardian newspaper reminds us that some years ago, a former Conservative leader, he wasn't even PM, David Cameron and Michael Gove, the Education Secretary,
who I worked with,
indeed asked you to lead a review into the teaching of maths in school up to the age of 18. That was back in, was it 2009, I think?
That was 2009. Before that, because politically I'm independent, I've never belonged to a party. I did work with David Blunkett and Tony Blair when David was the Education Secretary to introduce, great guy, numeracy hour into primary schools. So I've worked with Labour, and then when obviously the Conservatives came in, I worked with them. So it's just for me, it's always about the children and what's best for the children. So it's a subject that I know deeply. I mean, listening to Sunak yesterday and his speech, it was like, are we in a parallel universe here? Literally, it was like, am I back listening to Jack and Ori or something? It was like, what? And then we can do this and then everything will be fine. Oh, and I'll just have a little adjustment here. Oh, everything will be fine. Hello. And, people are suffering. I came from a very poor family and, single parent, 3 kids. I was born in 1960, so I'm age 62 now. And I know I was a free school meals kid all my life. I know how hard it is. He was, saying, oh, my education was important. Yes, it was important. You went to Winchester, which is like Eton B. It's a private school. And it's like, he was head boy there. Then he went on and now it's like, does he have any conception of what real people are having to go through and the lack of opportunities for children? And the only way we can change this country is when children particularly are given equal opportunity. And so I am deeply passionate about it. Should kids study maths to 18? Look, the system is not working for that.
No.
That people are coming out of the education system in for a whole host of reasons. I support teachers, but in primary school, most teachers, almost all, gave up maths at 16 at GCSE level. And it's in a bit of an elephant in the room in education because they're a bit fearful of teaching it. Mm-hmm. I have an online maths school, as you know. We went free in lockdown to kids, taught 500,000 kids for 4 months free. We lost money, we literally stopped taking income and we spent a lot of money to teach these children and they did well with us online. And we know that tech can help kids. If you get to age 14 and you are very wary and anxious about numbers, there is no point in the world trying to teach you trigonometry.
Thank you.
There's no point whatsoever. No. There should be, as there used to be back in our day, there was a CSE. Do you remember? An O-level and a CSE.
Yeah, that's right,
And the CSE was very practical.
Yeah.
It was about numeracy. You didn't have to worry about simultaneous equations. I love them. I would do them as a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
But I'm weird, right? That is not... Nobody needs to, unless they're going to go on to do science or engineering or whatever. Let's just take a practical view and come up with something. You don't teach to the test. You can do it online. We do it online, where you have a little lesson, a little video lesson, and then you have a little test after. So it's like micro tests every day. You don't need to teach to an exam all the time, because sadly teachers and schools have to keep doing this. We've got the SATs now, and then we've got the this, and so they spend whole terms teaching how to answer a particular question which is set by an educationist, rather than the practicality about mortgages, about your salary, about tax, about all of those practical things that will help these kids as they get older.
Your phone rings later today and Mr. Sunak says, I heard you on the radio today. You've got some great ideas. Can I ask you to do for me?
Never. I'd say, Rishi, mate, I'll come to number 10 on one condition, that you give us all the information about these VIP lanes, that they are trying to continue even though we're out of the pandemic.
This is the PPE.
So the PPE VIP, you, as you have promised, Rishi, to make public your tax return before Christmas. We've not seen it. You tell us about your wife and all of that kind of. Then perhaps I'll come to number 10, but no chance before then.
Before I let you go, you mentioned a lot about...
One,
oh, I know. I'm trying to diffuse you a little bit. You always frighten me when you get to this level of anger. I've known you forever. Yeah. You were mentioning online. Let's talk a little bit about next week. You launch a new online series.
Yes.
Carol, what's it called? What's it about?
Well, I'm delighted about it. Quiz show's obviously my thing.
Yeah.
It's... everyone's got a podcast. You're not anyone unless you've got a podcast.
Of course. I haven't got one yet.
You haven't got one either.
I'm working on it.
But the quiz show, there isn't
we'll do one together. No,
there isn't a big quiz podcast. So all of last year, with working with people, and we put together this incredible, I think it's wonderful. It's very happy. It's called Perfect 10. It drops every day, Monday to Friday, and it's lovely. It's 10 questions, 10 points, all done in 10 minutes. And they're like 10 really lovely questions. And
can you give me an example of one you've done, or just so the listener gets...
every day, question 2 will always be what we call hearsay. So you'll hear 2 sounds. One will be like oink, 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 oink.
Yep.
And then another will be doors to manual, doors to manual. And you've got to do a phrase or saying so that would be pigs might fly.
Pigs might fly. Got it. Yeah.
So things like that. And then we have a riddle question. Then we have a one in, one out, we call it, which is... I give you the word horse, HORSE.
Yep.
Take one letter out and put one letter in to give me a word meaning abode or residence.
What do we get? House, presumably.
House, yes. You take the R. So it's quick.
Okay,
See, and then there's a riddle. And then there are things like on a Domino's pizza box.
Why am I so nervous being asked questions about Carol? How is this going to end?
So they're not like mastermind questions.
Right, well, I should hope not. Yeah.
On a Domino's pizza box, there's a domino. Yeah. How many points are on that domino?
Oh, I don't eat pizza. 6. 4.
No, wrong.
6.
See, you guessed all the numbers. It's 3.
Oh,
a 2 and a 1.
Dominoes.
So it's things like that everyone can play along.
Yep.
You can do it on your commute, and I give you the answers at the end. But it's 10 minutes, Monday to Friday, and a compilation on a Sunday. And it's on YouTube, it's on podcasts, where you get your podcasts, everything.
Starts this Monday.
Perfect
10 with Carol Vorderman. It's been perfect seeing you. Thanks.
But not a perfect 10 Downing Street.
No, it's not perfect 10 Downing Street, is it? Carol, great seeing you. Thank you. I won't give you a hug because I've not got COVID. I test every day, but I've got this damn bug that's...
And Happy New Year to everybody. I don't normally get this cross, but I'm very cross at the moment.
Lovely seeing you. Come and see us again when you're cross. Carol Vorderman appearing here on LBC. Perfect 10 with Carol Vorderman starts on Monday. Carol, thanks for that.